guys, so I've recently come into some plastic canvas, which happens every once in a while. Somebody finds like a bag of craft supplies that nobody wants, so it ends up with me. And I got some plastic canvas, and I was super excited, like I always am, because I love plastic canvas. Like, there's so many possibilities, so many different things you could do with it, and I love it, and I love like working with it. But I can never find any projects that don't look like they're from the 80s and 90s. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've looked on Pinterest and looked all over, and it's just like Barbie furniture, like really dated Barbie furniture. I couldn't find anything on there this time that looked current. So I decided to challenge myself to come up with something that didn't make me think of when I was a kid. So this is what I came up with. This is my prototype. Now obviously it's gonna look nicer. The one I'm going to be doing for my video, I think is gonna be the bigger one that I have. I already have the pieces cut out, but I'm gonna show you, I have the pattern all charted out so you can do exactly, or I'll show you too how you can change it if you want to make it a slightly different shape or a different size or something. So let's get into it. Okay, so this was the pattern that I worked out while I was working through it. Baby girl helped me color. And these are the basic pieces that you're going to need. This is for two different ones. I wanted to do two sizes. Now this one has this shape, and either this or this. Now, to get this six-sided piece, you can make it any size you want to. It's just kind of keeping this angle the same. So like 1 and then 2 and then 1 and then 2, if that makes sense. And you can see the same thing on the bigger one. I went 1 stitch, 2 stitch, 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's what's going to give you the right angle that you need for the top flat piece. And then here, these, I did 2 here and then 4 here, and you can see they did come out different lengths. So they're going to line up different at the bottom. That's going to give you kind of like a nicer point. And this is going to help them kind of lay together. So they're going to like set in. I'll show you that too. These ones are the same. I've got 1 there, 2 there. The only difference, like if you want to make that end longer, is you see I have 4 here on each. Here I have 2. So you could add more. You could do 1 if you wanted like a very flat diamond. This one I did, I think 2. Yeah, so this one I did 2 like this, I think. And so that's the shape that this one gives you. So this one should be about twice as long, right? We'll see how it comes out. Now, these ones are for the bigger one, obviously. This is kind of the same. You can make that longer if you want to, or like if you're changing the size, it's just 2. And then over here, I think, yeah, this is for big one, and I think this is actually the shape I ended up cutting out. Just to see, like, you want the same amount of stitches, you want the same amount of squares on your grid there, needs to line up with this. So, I mean, you could make this go further and further and further. Would give you a bigger piece here. You just have to make sure that the number of stitches on the top of your triangle here line up with this piece here. And then I put this dotted line here just to show, like, you want to cut out so half of your pieces are going to end here, if that makes sense. So I cut the pieces out for a couple different ones. because I wasn't sure which one I wanted to do. So like this has 2 on the top and this has 4. So you can see they're the same everywhere else except that. And that's going to make them kind of lie together like this. When you sew it, you can see how it's going to give it a bit of a nicer tip at the end. So I have 3 of each of those. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I've got 6 of this. And then 1 of this. Then I also have the same thing here cut out for the bigger one. 6 of these. My 6-sided top. And this, I wanted to try actually the 3. And so for this one, I have 3 on here and 2 here. And that's still going to help it kind of lay together a little bit nicer. So there's the pieces for the big one and the little one. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my pieces, and I'm going to take some yarn and I'm just going to fill in the surface area of these. Also, quick add-in, however many you have here needs to line up with this side. Okay, so I'm going to lay these out first to make sure I do the colors right. So I'm going to do a 3, 2, 3, 2. So 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2 up at the top. I'm going to leave those laid out. I'm using just regular worsted weight. I've got a light pink, a white, and this was some leftover blue ombre from the cinch bag that I made. I wanted the lightest blue, and if it changes colors, I think that'll actually be really pretty. So I'm using these 3. These are going to be laid like this. I just need to keep them in order basically. So I'm going to do blue, pink, white, blue, pink, white, because that's the way I want it around my diamond. So I have all of my pieces filled in here. I'm going to set this one aside for now. I left longer tails on them. I was going to try to use that to sew the pieces up, but I think I'm just going to work them in. So they're out of the way, and then use one piece of white to sew up the edges. So I've got them laid out the way I want. I'm going to start here, go down and up, attach this one, down and up, attach this one. So I'm just going to attach these as I'm on the top. And then I think when I get to the end, I'll probably finish here. And then I'll go around and attach them. Attach the tops, I think. So I've got my first 2 pieces here, and you can see I've kind of got some little gaps here. So what I should have done to prevent that is right on the corners here, you should come to the outside. Like I did it here, so there won't be a gap there, but here there will be. So I've got these pieces all together. I wanted to pause for a second before I did this last seam so you could see what it looks like flat. Started here, went like this. And then I'm gonna sew these two together and then sew this one on, so it's gonna look like this. And then I think what I'm gonna do is sew this, basically do the same thing and get those all sewn on. I'll have an extra lip on every other, but that's fine. Now on this one seam here, there we go. You can see it looks different. I took one extra stitch and went in that hole to fill in the gap, but you can see it doesn't quite lay flat. It made it tighter. So I don't think I would do that again. I think I'd just go across the edge like I showed you the first time. And it's done. Oh, I take it that. So what do you guys think? Did I do it? Does it still remind you of like 80s and 90s? Or not? And obviously you could add like a strap or something to this and use it as a bag. But I think what I'm going to do with it is keep it on my stand here and keep like my lip tints and my lip balms and stuff in it. That was kind of what I was thinking when I made this size. Voila! And I mean, you could make this a little bit smaller and keep like cotton balls or something in it in the bathroom, or Q-tips, or candies, or cough drops. Whatever, just something you want to keep out, but still get to and not have to see all the time.